Hi. Just let me pick up paper because I've been Googling again. I'm going to talk about a very serious topic which impacts on every level of society, every part of the world, and that's bullying. I've shared my stories of bullying, abuse, and trauma at high school where other girls played a joke on me. A nasty, demeaning joke. To them it was funny to see my shame and embarrassment, and perhaps they were mean, cruel girls, but I don't know what their motives were. To hurt me, definitely, but why? Jealousy or just because they could? The damage bullying does can have a wider impact than just the victim. It can impact on the family, if the victim commits suicide. So there's emotional pain for the family. And just even if it doesn't go that far, watching their family member go through bullying or watching your friend go through bullying impacts on you too. So at its worst, the bully victim is in so much pain they feel no choice but to suicide. This is an awful topic to discuss, and how often it's so easy to say ignore the bully. Today I'm taking on this difficult topic. Bullying is getting more and more prevalent and now is part of social media platforms. The news seems to centre on children and adolescents because, yes, they are vulnerable, but let's not forget there are adults who too suffer. I recall in my days at school there was a gender difference with bullying. Girls tended to taunt and tease, insult, put down with words. Boys did too, but the bullying tended to be more physical, standovers and fists. Bully, as a noun defined by Google, is a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those who they perceive as vulnerable. Bully, as a verb, is to intimidate, seek to harm or coerce. Similar words to bullying are persecute, oppress, tyrannize, torment, browbeat, intimidate, coerce, subjugate, dominate, push around, pressurize, push, force, pester, goad, prod, brainwash, abuse, badger, and so on. Acts of bullying: pranks, judging, gossip, labelling, name-calling, acts of violence, show of force, abusing, torturing, tormenting, racism, prejudice, and bias. It's an act causing harm. Effects of bullying can lead to self-harm, loss, stress, loss of appetite, loss of sleep, nightmares, loss of self-esteem, loss of confidence, suicide, revenge, violence, murder at its extreme. It makes the victim to some degree mentally ill. Cyberbullying is bullying online can also have a long-lasting detrimental emotional and mental problems years after the bullying has stopped. With kids, there's 10 types of targeted victims. Now, these are not in order. Number 1, successful, good at doing something, talented. 2, intelligent, determined, creative. 3, vulnerable. 4, isolated. 5, popular. 6, the way they look, distinctive physical appearance. 7, illness or disability. 8, different sexual orientation. 9, religious or cultural beliefs. 10, a different race. For me, maybe because I was friendly and popular, intelligent, creative, vulnerable and isolated, I was skinny, plain looking, hair in plaits, braces. I had at least 5 of the 10, so an easy target for my abusers. I already had low self-esteem about the way I looked, and their petty bullying made that worse, and I felt belittled, ashamed, naive, taken advantage of, and incredibly hurt. Behind my back, these mean bitches were gossiping and laughing. It happened again in another grade where vicious rumours circulated. Now, I believe the perpetrators bully for many reasons: to make themselves feel better about themselves, to gain control and power, to impress their peers, or they're just plain nasty, and sometimes they are or were victimised themselves. I love that very true phrase or saying, and I'll say it very slowly: hurt people hurt people. In 2019, 20% of high school students, that's 1 in 5, reported they'd been bullied. 14% of these victims considered suicide, and 7% of them attempted it. That's 1 in just over 12 students. According to CDC, Centre for Disease Control, suicide is the leading cause of death amongst young people, about 4,400 per year. Bully victims are between 2 to 9 more times likely to commit suicide than non-bullying. So what can be done to prevent bullying? I googled this and evidence-based bullying prevention programs came up. There's bullying prevention called PBIS or BP, second step called SS or SEL, and the Bullying Prevention Unit, SS-BPU, OLWEUS, OLWEUS Bullying Prevention Program, OBPP, and Facing History in Ourselves. Now, I don't know what these programs are. If you know of a bullying or want to look it up, I'll just repeat them so you can Google them yourself. That's bullying prevention, second step, and the Bullying Prevention Unit, OLWEUS Bullying Prevention Program, and Facing History and Ourselves. Now, I'm not a facilitator in this. I believe the issue involves all of us as a society. It's about education, and that starts at home and in schools. However, we need to be aware that the bully themselves can be bullied at their own home by a family member, and this individual is too afraid to speak out or doesn't know any better or is loyal. I believe we already quite heavily policed, and that Department of Children's Welfare in some cases has used its power corruptly. They focus on people with addictions, but even so-called people we think as normal could be abusing or bullying their child. There's no perfect parents, so really then we would hope that schools could catch the behaviour of a bully. Although we have Kids Helpline and Lifeline, these sometimes are unable for whatever reason to be utilised, and because the callers can be anonymous, powerless, and maybe intervention comes too late. As I said before, adults are bullied too, at work, like I was when I worked at the jail, and I attempted suicide. In relationships, again I attempted suicide, and in different group situations. Social platforms that allow trolls allow bullying. They have the moral duty to stop harmful behaviour. We all do. If you see someone being bullied, please do something. I personally would go to the victim and give love and positivity, and then I would try to take the bully aside and respectfully say, do you realize that what you said or did hurt so and so? By not doing anything is enabling. If you are being bullied, please do something. If you can't get away from the situation, speak to someone who can help. At the very least, for example, you are trolled or gossiped nastily about, realize it's not you, it's them. Them who have the problem. You are a worthy human being, worthy of being loved, and there's nothing wrong with you. Just because you don't seem to fit in, there's still nothing wrong with you. We were all created equal and equally precious. Lately in the news, strong women that we admire and respect, have reported bullying at the highest level in our government. Bullying has been with us since the dawn of mankind, and it's time we stopped and we learned to respect each other and to treat each other with dignity and kindness, no matter our sexual orientation, our beliefs, or our skin colour. We are all humans, all on the same playing field. So next time you say something to another or do something, think, will this do harm or good? Thanks for listening and love. And let's be truthful, we've all at times probably said an unkind word or gossiped or done something maybe we might not have meant to, but it has caused harm to the other person. So let's take stock of ourselves. You know, we as adults, we recognise bullying. Children don't. I don't know sometimes whether when a child is bullying a child that they realise that their act is wrong because they've never been corrected. So sometimes I don't think you can blame the bully because they might not know any better. This is just a massive problem. I don't know the cure. I don't know how to fix it. I just know that we have to address it and we have to start with ourselves. Start with ourselves. You know, like I said, is this going to do harm or good? Thank you for listening to my videos. Love to you all. Bye, and please take care of yourself, okay?